Hey bee lovers, welcome back to another adventure in backyard beekeeping. The bees were active today, and Sai and I decided to do a hive check, focusing on seeing if the bees needed more sugar water and how they were doing building out wax honeycomb on the new frames. Sai's doing all the beekeeping today. I'm just providing the support role and doing the filming and the editing afterwards. Sai starts off by smoking the bees and taking off the outer cover and then the inner cover. And as I said, we're focusing on seeing how the sugar water level is doing for the bees, and seeing how they're doing building out the honeycomb on the new frames. So Sai pulls out the in-frame feeder, which we've got on the top brood box, and Sai notices right away that it's really light, so we're definitely going to top that off. The bees are going through sugar water really fast, and not surprised that they need more sugar water. Sai's doing a quick check of the frames in the top box, and we are not surprised to find out that the bees have not been building that out with honeycomb yet. And actually, I was happy about that because I wanted to make sure that the bees don't just jump right up to the top, but build out the comb on this bottom brood box. You may remember from our last video, we checkerboarded in these new frames to try to get the bees to focus on building out some comb on the new frames. And we were very happy to find out that the bees were doing a great job of building out some honeycomb. So the honeycomb's a little bit light still. The beeswax is a little bit light. You can see the bees are just starting to build it out on that frame. But then as we check the other frames, for the most part, we've got really good build out happening here. So Sai's using that J tool to pull out the frames, and you can tell the new frames are a lot lighter there, and they get sticky with the bees using propolis as a kind of a super glue. And here the bees have built out really nice honeycomb, and you could see even some pollen turned into bee bread there. Pretty exciting action going on with the bees there. So that's some really nice bee bread and some very active bees. You got some bee butts sticking out there. In what looks like from the rest of these cells are probably the bees turning that pollen that they bring in into bee bread. Here we are looking at another frame, one of the new frames, and oh my goodness, it is so exciting to see such active bees and them building out this honeycomb with beeswax. And here they've got all this pollen, and check out the reddish purple pollen. I have seen some bees coming in with that, and I will show you a still at the end of this video. It's been exciting to see them come in with that color and to find it on the frames. Oh my gosh, so cool. So Sai is doing a great job here. So calm and steady with the frames, and very careful not to hurt any bees. Just check out that what gorgeous hexagon beeswax built out. Just amazing that the bees can do that. Absolutely incredible. You could see some of the bees. Wow, are they active on this frame? Holy cow, there's a little bee butt, and a couple of them you can see some nice fat golden yellow pollen sacs. I'm quite confident, like 100% confident on those older frames. There's a lot of continue to be a lot of capped brood and so forth. We decided not to check those today, and we'll check those on our next hive check. Here's the last frame of the new frames, and oh my gosh, just such thick, gorgeous beeswax. Oh my goodness. So now that we can see how much beeswax they've built out on the new frames, and even quite a bit of nectar, I would not be surprised at all if they start if the queen starts laying brood in there soon. So Sai is going to put on the top box now. Super glad the bees have been filling out that bottom box, and probably won't be too long before they start getting into the top box. We don't want to disturb the bees, so we decided to just, close them up quickly and then make our sugar water and then come back. So Sai puts on the inside cover and then the outside cover, and then we go in and make some sugar water for these bees. We make them organic sugar water, just to minimize the pesticides that they're exposed to. Everything, all the veggies and everything I grow in my own yard are all grown organically, no chemicals. Of course, the bees fly pretty far away, so I'm sure they're getting into some stuff, but we don't want to expose them to additional chemicals. So here Sai is pouring the sugar water, and we've got that feeder on the rack to do that. And then Sai is going to open up the box. This is a really quick process here. Sai will just pop that in-frame feeder back in. You could see the bees are already very calm, and this is just in the amount of time it took us to make the sugar water. So this is pretty shortly after we were down into the lower brood box, and the bees already seem calm. The foragers are already doing their foraging thing, and Sai just did an outstanding job beekeeping today. And it's very exciting to see how much beeswax comb these bees have been building out. There's another peek at that purple, reddish pollen, which I have seen the bees bringing in with these fantastic purple, reddish leggings. And here's a bee coming in with some purple pollen, and so exciting to see it in the hive. Thanks for joining Sai and I. We are having a blast with our first year of beekeeping, and it's fun to have you along for the adventure. I appreciate you liking our video and subscribing to our channel, Z's Bees.